Welcome back, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and collectors from around the world. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary and valuable coins in modern American numismatics. If you think your pocket change is just spare coins, think again, because we are exploring the remarkable story, intricate details, and astonishing value of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that is currently valued at a staggering $68,130. This isn't just a penny, it's a piece of history, a collector's dream, and potentially life-changing wealth waiting to be discovered. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909. Victor David Brenner's iconic design featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile revolutionized the penny, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has seen numerous changes in composition, design, and minting techniques, but one thing remained constant: the fascination of collectors around the world. Among these coins, the 1980 no-mint Mark penny stands out for its rarity, pristine condition, and astounding market value. To understand why this penny is so special, we need to step back and look at the United States Mint in 1980. During that year, billions of coins were produced to meet the demands of circulation. Most pennies that left the Philadelphia Mint, where no mint mark was used, ended up in daily transactions, getting worn, scratched, and circulated extensively. This is why finding a 1980 Lincoln cent in mint state, especially with no mint mark, is so rare. The survival rate of these coins in pristine condition is incredibly low, which directly contributes to their astronomical value. What makes a coin like the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent truly exceptional is its condition. Numismatists use a grading system called mint state, abbreviated MS, to describe the quality of uncirculated coins. The grading ranges from MS60, which is barely uncirculated, up to MS70, which is perfect in every way. Coins in the MS65 to MS67 range are exceedingly rare for the 1980 no-mint Mark penny, and they are the ones commanding six-figure prices at auctions. Imagine holding a tiny coin in your hand worth more than most people make in a year. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. On the obverse, we have Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, depicted in a profile that has become iconic worldwide. Every hair, every line in Lincoln's face, and the sharpness of the inscriptions are critical factors in assessing value. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Coins with extra sharp strikes, strong detail, and proof-like luster are considered more valuable because they are closer to the coin's original state as it left the mint. Collectors also pay close attention to subtle anomalies and details that may not be immediately visible to the untrained eye. Microscopic die marks, doubling of letters, or unusual toning can increase a coin's value exponentially. In the case of the 1980 no-mint Mark penny, experts carefully examine the strike, the surface texture, and the luster. Coins with perfect centering, unbroken rims, and brilliant surfaces are extraordinarily rare and highly prized by serious collectors. The history of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is fascinating. While billions of pennies were produced that year, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Some of these coins were never released into circulation and were discovered decades later in mint rolls, old coin collections, and even forgotten boxes in attics and safes. Each coin has its own story, a journey from the minting press to the hands of collectors, making it not just a currency piece, but a piece of American history. The market for rare Lincoln cents, especially no-mint mark varieties, is incredibly dynamic. Over the past few years, auction prices for top-grade 1980 no-mint mark pennies have skyrocketed. Coins graded MS65 and above are fetching anywhere from $50,000 to over $68,000, depending on the rarity and the bidding competition at the time. This makes them not just collector items, but also serious investments for those who understand the market. It's important to remember that these coins are not just about value. They are about authenticity and preservation. Due to the high market demand, counterfeit coins and altered specimens occasionally appear. Unsuspecting collectors could lose tens of thousands of dollars if they purchase an uncertified coin. This is why professional grading from PCGS, NGC, or ANAX is essential. Certification not only guarantees authenticity but also provides a reliable grade, which directly impacts the coin's market value. If you are fortunate enough to own a 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, handling and storage are crucial. Always handle coins by their edges or use cotton gloves to avoid oils and dirt from damaging the surface. Never attempt to clean the coin, as even mild cleaning can dramatically reduce its value. Store the coin in a secure, temperature-controlled environment, ideally in an airtight holder or coin slab, to preserve its condition for decades. The better the care, the higher the potential value in the future. This coin also opens the door to exploring other valuable Lincoln cents. Years like 1960, 1974, and 1981 without mint marks have their own collectible significance, as do era coins like doubled dies or off-center strikes. Collecting Lincoln cents can be a rewarding hobby, a fascinating study in history, and a smart long-term investment. For many collectors, these coins represent both a tangible connection to America's past and a path to potential financial gain. Let's take a moment to imagine the thrill of finding a 1980 no-mint mark penny in a bag of loose change. Most people see pennies as worthless, but this coin demonstrates the hidden treasures that can be hiding in plain sight. Every small detail, from the shine of the metal to the crispness of Lincoln's features, can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collector's item worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors should also pay attention to auctions, estate sales, and coin shows, as these are often the places where the most exceptional specimens appear. Even coins that have been in circulation might hold hidden potential if they have remained relatively untouched and retained strong details. With the right grading, even a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye could be a valuable find. As we look at the bigger picture, the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of American history, meticulous craftsmanship, and the passion of collectors who treasure rare coins. It represents the power of numismatics to transform ordinary objects into extraordinary investments. Every detail, every nuance, every story behind the coin contributes to its incredible value. So, the next time you come across a 1980 Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it. Look closely at Lincoln's profile, the sharpness of the lettering, and the luster of the coin. If it happens to be a no-mint mark specimen in mint condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Remember, coins like this are rare, precious, and capable of changing lives for those who recognize their true value. In conclusion, the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is a coin that combines history, rarity, and financial potential. It is a coin that every serious collector dreams of owning, and its market value of $68,130 makes it one of the most valuable modern pennies in circulation today. Treat it with care, appreciate its beauty, and respect its legacy as a small but powerful piece of American history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of rare coins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos on valuable coins, rare discoveries, and tips for collectors who want to unlock hidden treasures in their own collections. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, the next coin you pick up could be worth more than you ever imagined. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in the world of numismatics, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin isn't just any penny you find in your pocket change. This is a rare, highly sought-after coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and is currently valued at an astonishing $55,876. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine finding this coin in your wallet or piggy bank. It could change your life forever. The story of the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny begins with the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909. Celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The penny was revolutionary at the time, featuring the first portrait of a real person on a regular circulating coin in the United States. Over the decades, Lincoln pennies became one of the most collected coins, with many rare variations emerging due to errors, limited minting, or unique characteristics. Now, the 1981 penny may seem recent, but it hides an incredible story that makes it priceless to the right collector. Unlike most pennies minted after 1980, which are fairly common and easy to find, the 1981 no-mint mark penny is exceedingly rare. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins struck at Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark, while Denver coins bore the letter D. However, due to a combination of low production errors and misstrikes, a small number of Philadelphia pennies from 1981 have become extremely rare. These are the pennies without the mint mark that collectors are hunting for today. One of the fascinating aspects of this coin is the rarity factor. Out of millions of pennies produced in 1981, only a tiny fraction are the no mint mark varieties in near perfect condition. Condition is critical in coin collecting. A penny with sharp details, no wear, and a brilliant luster can fetch thousands, while even a minor scratch can reduce its value drastically. For the 1981 no-mint mark penny, coins graded as uncirculated or near perfect can sell for over $50,000, as we see in the current market. Collectors also value this penny for its unique history. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, the U.S. Mint faced challenges with coin production. Rising demand for coinage, increased automation, and human error all contributed to variations that now seem like treasure to collectors. Coins that slipped through quality control without a mint mark or with unusual characteristics became some of the most coveted coins in existence. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon. Now, let's talk about how to identify this coin. It might seem tricky at first, but with a careful eye, you can spot it. The 1981 no-mint mark penny looks just like any other Lincoln penny from that year, but the key is the absence of the mint mark under the date. On the obverse, or front of the coin, you will see Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right. The year 1981 is clearly visible at the bottom, and right under the date, there is no D or S mint mark. Every detail on Lincoln's face, hair, and coat is crisp and clear on valuable examples. Collectors also examine the edges and the field of the coin for any signs of wear or imperfections. Coins that have been circulated, even slightly, are less valuable. Another factor that drives value is rarity combined with demand. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are hard to find, and the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny fits that description perfectly. Auctions for this coin have seen fierce bidding wars, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure it. Even among rare coins, the 1981 no-mint mark penny stands out because it is relatively modern yet extremely scarce, making it both desirable and accessible to serious collectors who want to add a high-value coin to their collection. Let's take a moment to talk about the current market. As of now, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has a market value of $55,876. This value is not static. It fluctuates based on demand, auction results, and the condition of the coin. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC receive higher prices because collectors have confidence in their authenticity and condition. Coins in lower grades might sell for significantly less, but pristine, high-grade examples continue to break records and make headlines. It's important to note that not all 1981 no-mint mark pennies are worth this much. Condition, provenance, and verification by a professional grading service are crucial. Even a coin that looks perfect to the untrained eye could have flaws that affect its value. That's why collectors often invest in grading and certification, ensuring that their coin's value is recognized in the marketplace. Now, let's explore why collectors find the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so fascinating. Beyond its rarity and value, this coin represents a piece of history, a snapshot of the United States Mint's production in the early 1980s. Owning such a coin is like owning a tangible piece of history. It tells a story about coinage, about economic conditions, and about the meticulous process of minting that most people take for granted. Every scratch, every detail, every luster tells a part of that story. For anyone thinking about investing in coins, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a prime example of how a small, humble object can carry incredible value. Coins like this are not only collectible items but also investment opportunities. As time passes, their scarcity increases, and their value often rises. Unlike cash, which can lose purchasing power due to inflation, rare coins like this penny have intrinsic collectible value that is recognized worldwide. Finding this penny in the wild, though, is extremely unlikely. Most of these coins are in the hands of serious collectors or stored securely in banks and private collections. However, for those who do stumble upon one, the reward can be life-changing. Imagine sorting through a jar of pennies and discovering a coin worth over $50,000. Stories like these are what make coin collecting exciting and why enthusiasts continue to search through their change, rolls, and estates for hidden treasures. So, how do you get started with collecting coins like this? First, educate yourself about coin history and rare varieties. Learn to identify mint marks, understand grading, and become familiar with the types of errors and variations that make coins valuable. Second, handle coins carefully. Even a small scratch or fingerprint can lower a coin's value. Third, work with trusted dealers and consider having valuable coins professionally graded. Finally, stay informed about market trends and auction results so that you can recognize when a coin is a smart investment. The 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a testament to the thrill of coin collecting. It shows how something that seems ordinary can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. It is rare, it is valuable, and it has a story that spans decades. For collectors, this coin is more than just money. It is history, it is prestige, and it is a potential key to financial opportunity. In conclusion, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the most incredible coins for collectors today. With a current market value of $55,876, it combines rarity, history, and investment potential in a way that few coins can. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your numismatic journey, this coin is a symbol of the excitement and possibility that comes with discovering rare treasures. Keep your eyes open, check your change carefully, and remember that history and fortune can sometimes be found in the smallest places. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures that could be hiding in your pocket change. Stay tuned, because in the world of coin collecting, every penny has a story, and every story has the potential to make history. Today's video is going to open your eyes to one of the most shocking discoveries in modern coin collecting, because we are talking about the 1991 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin from a year that many collectors overlook, but one that has produced some of the most valuable, rare, and surprising pennies ever found in circulation. If you have any pocket change from the early 1990s or you have old jars of pennies stored away somewhere, you might want to check them carefully because the 1991 penny has recently stunned collectors with record auction prices, including one rare variety that reached an unbelievable current market value of $72,903. Yes, that is right, a penny minted in 1991, a coin many people would just spend without thinking twice, has become a treasure worth more than many cars, more than a year's salary for many people, and even more than the cost of some homes in parts of the world. So let's dive deep into the history, the design, the errors, the varieties, and the reasons why this incredibly rare 1991 penny has become so valuable today. When we talk about the 1991 Lincoln penny, we are talking about the iconic and classic design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Abraham Lincoln's portrait has appeared on the obverse of the penny for more than a century, making it one of the most familiar coins in American history. By 1991, the U.S. Mint had changed the composition of the penny to a copper-coated zinc planchet. This means the coin you hold from this year is mostly zinc on the inside with a thin layer of copper on the outside, which is very important because this composition sometimes leads to minting mistakes, planchet issues, weak strikes, die cracks, and other errors that collectors love and pay big money for. The Denver Mint, marked by the D Mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of pennies that year, So you might be wondering why one extremely rare piece is worth almost $73,000. The truth is, not every coin is valuable, but certain varieties and errors can make a coin skyrocket in price. Before we get into the high-value errors, let's talk about the general appearance of the 1991 D penny. On the obverse, you have the side portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the phrases "In God We Trust" above his head and "Liberty" to the left. The date, 1991, appears on the right, with the mint mark D right below it. On the reverse side, we still have the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, and this design is full of details that collectors study carefully, because even a tiny flaw in the building, the columns, or the lettering can turn a normal penny into a rare and valuable piece. Now, the year 1991 is interesting because the minting machines were heavily used, and sometimes dies were overworked, leading to small but important varieties. The most expensive and rarest 1991 D penny that reached the shocking value of $72,903 came from a combination of factors: flawless preservation, extremely high grade, and a rare error or die variety that made it stand out from millions of others. Most pennies from 1991 are circulated, scratched, worn, or damaged because they have been in pockets and registers for more than 30 years. But the coin that sold for this huge amount was in near perfect condition, with mint luster, sharp details, and no signs of circulation. This is what collectors call a top pop coin, meaning it sits at the top of the grading population report because no other coin of the same type has ever been found in better condition. When a coin becomes the highest graded example from its entire year in mint, collectors fight over it, raising the price to unbelievable levels. And that is exactly what happened. Now let's discuss the types of errors and varieties you should look for when checking your 1991 D pennies. One of the most desirable errors is a doubled die. This happens when the design on the coin gets stamped more than once in slightly different positions. A doubled die on the obverse can show doubling on the date, the mint mark, or the lettering such as Liberty or In God We Trust. Collectors love doubled dies because they are easy to see and prove that your coin is unique. Another valuable variety is an off-center strike. If the coin was not perfectly centered during minting, part of the design may be missing. This makes the coin visually dramatic and highly collectible. The more off-center it is, the more valuable it becomes, as long as the date and mint mark are still visible. Another important error to look for is a die crack or die break. Because of the zinc core, these coins sometimes develop small cracks or raised lines on the surface. If the die used to strike the coin was damaged or worn, it could also produce cuds, which are raised blobs of metal on the rim or near the lettering. Some die cracks form shapes that collectors get excited about, such as cracks that look like the famous BIE error between the letters B and E in Liberty. Although rare, these specific shapes can bring in good money. One more rare and exciting error is the wrong planchet strike. This means the coin was struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, such as a dime or foreign coin. Wrong planchet coins are extremely collectible because they are not supposed to exist. If you find a 1991 D penny that feels too light, too small, or has a strange color or texture, you might want to have it authenticated because it could be a wrong planchet error worth thousands. Now let's talk about grading, because this is one of the biggest reasons why the record-breaking coin sold for so much money. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A grade of MS60 means the coin is uncirculated but may have minor marks. A grade of MS65 means it has beautiful luster and very few marks. A grade like MS67 or MS68 is extremely rare for older pennies because it requires absolute perfection, and that is where the value skyrockets. The 1991 D penny that reached $72,903 was graded at such a high level that no other coin of the same type has ever matched it. This gives the coin what collectors call population rarity. Even though millions of pennies were minted, only one example achieved that grade, so it becomes like a trophy for collectors who want the best of the best. Imagine for a moment that you find a 1991 D penny sitting in a jar or lying in your drawer, and it looks shiny and uncirculated. You might think it's just a normal penny, but under magnification, you could discover a doubled die, a mint error, or perfect details with no scratches. This is why people still search through penny rolls today. A single coin could change someone's life financially, just like the rare example that sold for nearly $73,000. Collectors also value appeal. Even if two coins have the same grade, the one that looks better visually, with brighter color, stronger strike, and cleaner surfaces, will bring in more money. Some pennies develop a beautiful natural red color that collectors call RD. Some turn slightly brown, labeled RB, and some become fully brown, called BN. The redder and more brilliant the coin, the higher the value, especially for modern issues like the 1991 D penny. Another reason this coin has gained attention is that collectors are now focusing more on modern coins. Years ago, people mostly hunted older wheat pennies, but now even coins from the 1980s and 1990s are becoming valuable because of great rarity and unique errors. This shift in collecting trends has pushed prices higher, especially for coins with top grades. Now let's talk a little about the production of the 1991 D penny. The Denver Mint is known for its high-speed coin production, and because of the pressure to mint billions of coins each year, some mistakes slip through the cracks. Dies wear down, machinery misaligns, and sometimes planchets are not prepared correctly. This is why so many interesting varieties exist. When collectors start noticing rare errors from a specific year, interest rises, prices rise, and suddenly people start searching their change more carefully. If you want to check your 1991 D pennies for value, start by examining the date and mint mark. Make sure the mint mark is crisp and check for possible doubling. Then study Lincoln's face, hair, and the details in the memorial building. Use a magnifier if possible. Pay attention to the texture. A zinc penny with issues often shows bubbling, peeling, or discoloration, but a well-struck coin with perfect copper plating is a good sign. Look at the rim as well. Any unusual shapes, thickness differences, or missing details could signal an off-center strike or a partial collar strike. Once you examine your coin, compare it with pictures online of known varieties. If your coin looks unusual, it might be worth sending to a grading company for authentication. Today we are going to talk about one of the most shocking, surprising, extremely rare, and unbelievably valuable Lincoln 1-cent pennies that most people don't even know exists. A coin so rare that it has changed the lives of collectors, a coin that looks so normal that millions of people have probably spent it without ever realizing what they had. This is the story of the 1992 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most unique and high-value coins circulating today, with a current market price reaching an incredible $62,902. Yes, you heard that right. A common-looking 1992 penny that could be sitting in your pocket, your purse, your coin jar, or that old drawer in your home could actually be worth more than a brand new car or even a year's salary. So today, we will go deep into its history, how it became so rare, what you need to look for, how to identify it, how it compares with other valuable Lincoln cents, and why collectors pay so much for it. Make sure you stay until the end because the details you're about to learn can literally help you find a coin that could change your life financially. The story of the 1992 no-mint mark Lincoln penny begins with the history of the Lincoln cent series itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It replaced the Indian head penny and quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original wheat penny design ran from 1909 to 1958. Then in 1959, the United States Mint changed the reverse side to feature the Lincoln Memorial. That design ran until 2008. So the 1992 penny falls in the middle of the Memorial series, which means that visually, it looks very similar to the millions of pennies made between 1959 and 2008. But here's where things get interesting. Even though the 1992 penny looks normal, certain 1992 pennies contain very special die varieties and minting errors that turn them into treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. One of the major reasons some 1992 pennies are extremely valuable is due to something called the close AM design. Many people have heard of the rare close AM pennies from 1998, 1999, and 2000, but what they don't know is that the 1992 close AM penny is even rarer and even more valuable. A normal 1992 penny has a wide gap between the letters A and M on the word America on the reverse side of the coin. However, a small number of 1992 pennies were accidentally struck with a reverse design intended for proof coins. That proof design had the A and M much closer together. Because of this accidental mixing of dies, a tiny number of pennies from 1992 were struck with this rare close AM configuration. These pennies look almost identical to regular pennies, and most people had no idea such a rare coin was even possible. When professional collectors discovered this error a year later, these coins became extremely desirable and valuable. Now, when a 1992 penny comes with no mint mark, it means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins usually do not carry a mint mark, which means many people never pay attention to them because they think they are just regular everyday pennies. But in reality, the Philadelphia Mint has produced some of the rarest Lincoln cent varieties in history, including the rare 1992 no mint mark close AM penny. The extremely low number of surviving examples is what drives the price up. Experts estimate that only a handful of these coins exist today in high grade. Some believe that fewer than 40 examples might survive. Others believe that the number could be even smaller. Whenever a coin with extremely low survival numbers enters the market, collectors immediately begin bidding, and prices skyrocket. One of the most impressive things about the 1992 no mint mark rare penny is how much money it brings at auctions. A visually normal-looking penny has sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and the price continues to increase due to collector demand. One high-grade example sold for over $20,000 some years ago, but more recent auctions have pushed the value even higher. Today, the current market value of a high-quality 1992 no mint mark rare variety penny is around $62,902. That is an unbelievable price for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent to make. This is what makes rare coin collecting so exciting. Something that seems worthless can turn out to be one of the most valuable pieces of metal you will ever come across. Now let's talk about how to identify the rare 1992 penny from a regular one. First, check the mint mark. If there is no mint mark under the year 1992, then you know it was made in Philadelphia. But that does not automatically make it valuable. The key thing you need to look for is the distance between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side. Take a magnifying glass if you have one. Look closely at those letters. On the regular 1992 penny, the A and the M are spaced far apart. This is what most coins will look like. But on the rare variety, the A and the M are almost touching. The gap is extremely small. That is the close AM design. Another thing to look for is the spacing of the letters in the word United States of America. The rare variety has sharper lettering, and the FG initials near the base of the Lincoln Memorial are also slightly different in spacing. These tiny visual details might seem small, but they make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth over $60,000. Many collectors describe the 1992 close AM penny as one of the holy grails of modern Lincoln cents. Unlike older pennies that are rare because of low mintages or because they were made over 100 years ago, this coin stands out because it is a modern-era minting error. That means it was not supposed to exist at all. Errors like this happen when the wrong die is used during production. Mint workers sometimes mix dies up during testing, adjusting, or preparing coin presses. Because proof coins use a different design punch, the mistake happens when a proof reverse die ends up in a press that is used for business strike pennies. Once the press starts producing coins, a batch of pennies gets minted with the wrong design. Since the mint produces billions of coins each year, a few hundred pieces can go unnoticed and accidentally slip into circulation. That is likely what happened in 1992. Millions of Americans may have spent the rare 1992 close AM coin without ever knowing. Imagine paying for gum or candy with a penny worth tens of thousands of dollars. It sounds crazy, but it happens more often than you think. According to collectors, these coins have been discovered in circulation, from coin rolls, and from old jars sitting in homes for decades. This means that you could easily be holding one right now without even realizing it. Every single day, someone finds a rare penny, nickel, dime, or quarter inside their change, and the 1992 no-mint mark penny remains one of the most valuable and most overlooked. Now let's go into the history of the minting technology and why rare varieties like this appear. In the early 1990s, the mint was transitioning through different production methods, updating the quality of proof dies, and refining the mechanical tolerances of their coin presses. During this period, the minting process involved human oversight combined with early automated machinery. Because the technology was not as controlled as the systems used today, mistakes happened more often than expected. Workers manually changed dies and manually inspected test strikes. If a proof reverse die was mistakenly placed in the wrong press, coins could be struck with the wrong details. It only takes a few minutes of minting to produce a few hundred rare error coins. After that, the dies might be replaced or adjusted, meaning the rare coins stop being produced. This is why varieties like the 1992 Close AM are so limited and why collectors consider them legendary. The demand for the 1992 Close AM Lincoln cent has grown significantly in recent years. Collectors from around the world are now paying more attention to modern era coins. In the past, most collectors focused only on coins from the early 1900s or 19th century pieces. But now modern coins have gained tremendous popularity. The reason is simple. Many modern coins exist in huge numbers, but rare varieties exist in extremely small quantities, making them incredibly valuable. When a coin is both modern and extremely rare, it appeals to every type of collector, from beginners to experts. This is exactly what happened with the 1992 Close AM penny. It has become a must-have piece for serious collectors. Let's talk about condition and grading because the value of these coins depends strongly on their condition. If you find a 1992 no-mint mark penny that has the Close AM design and it is in circulated condition, it will still bring good money, sometimes a few $100 to a few $1,000 depending on the grade. Today's video is going to open your eyes to one of the most surprising and valuable modern Lincoln cents ever discovered, the 1994 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny that shocked collectors worldwide with its extraordinary auction price of $69,578. Yes, you heard that right, a coin minted in the mid-1990s, a coin millions of people spent without any second thought, has now become one of the most expensive and rare Lincoln pennies of its era. In this video we are going deep into its history, what makes it rare, how it achieves such an incredible value, what errors to look for, how to identify valuable features, and why this ordinary-looking coin can instantly change your life if found in high grade. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to recognize a premium 1994 D penny that could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Let us start by understanding the background of the 1994 D Lincoln cent. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies that year. In fact, 1994 D Lincoln cents are extremely common in circulation because they were part of the everyday coinage Americans used for decades. Most people believe modern pennies have no real collector value, but that's where stories like this become exciting. Even among billions of coins, there can be a few extremely rare survivors that stand out due to pristine condition, unusual handling, mint errors, or exceptional strike quality. The reason some 1994 D cents have skyrocketed in value is tied to a combination of three important factors: grade, rarity of perfect examples, and collector demand for modern high-quality Lincoln cents. Before we talk about the expensive varieties, let us understand why grade is everything. Coin grading is the process of assigning a numerical score from 1 to 70 that represents the quality and preservation of a coin. A grade of 70, known as a perfect mint state, is almost impossible to achieve for coins that enter circulation, especially copper-plated zinc pennies like those produced in the 1990s. These coins scratch easily, develop spots, get dull quickly, and lose their original luster after minimal handling. That is why high-grade examples from the 1994 D series are extremely scarce. The reason this coin sold for $69,578 is because it was certified in nearly flawless condition, a grade that is incredibly hard to find. Out of millions of coins made, only a tiny number survive in top-tier grades, and collectors fight aggressively at auctions for such premium pieces. Now let's talk about the design and the composition of the 1994 D penny. By 1994, the Lincoln cent still carried the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first released in 1909. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial was used, designed by Frank Gasparo, a design that lasted from 1959 all the way until 2008. The mint mark D below the date tells us the coin was minted in Denver. The composition of this coin was copper-plated zinc, meaning it has a thin outer layer of copper but the core of the coin is zinc. This composition creates challenges because copper plating can bubble, crack, or show imperfections, making perfectly smooth coins very rare. That is one reason why grading services like PCGS and NGC award extremely high grades to very few coins from this era. Now let's explore the rare characteristics and special varieties that make a 1994 D penny valuable. Some coins have mint errors that occurred during production. These aren't mistakes made by people using them, but actual factory errors that happened at the US Mint. Some of the most valuable types of errors you might find include double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Any of these errors can turn a regular penny into a valuable collector item instantly. One rare feature collectors look for is a strong full strike with sharp details. Many modern pennies have weakly struck memorial columns or faint lettering because the dies used to strike them wear down over time. A coin with bold details and mirror-like luster is already more desirable. The extreme rarity comes from finding a 1994 D penny with perfect surfaces, no spots, no scratches, and no strike imperfections. These are the coins that receive high mint state grades like MS66, MS67, MS68, and the extremely rare MS69 grade. These high grades sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars. And the few coins that have reached the ultra-premium category have reached tens of thousands of dollars. So how rare is a high-grade 1994 D penny? According to collectors and auction records, finding any 1994 D penny in MS68 or higher is incredibly difficult. Most graded coins fall between MS60 and MS65. These grades are nice, but they aren't valuable enough to reach massive prices. But MS67 and above, especially MS68, can go from hundreds into thousands of dollars depending on collector demand. The legendary example that sold for $69,578 was one of the highest graded coins known. That's why it achieved such an unbelievable price. Collectors know such a coin may only appear once every few decades. When that happens, competition is fierce. Let's move on to identifying the types of errors you should be watching out for. One valuable error is the double die obverse, where lettering or dates appear doubled. Look closely at the word liberty, the date, and the phrase "In God We Trust." If you see doubling, you might have an extremely rare piece worth hundreds or thousands depending on condition. Off-center strikes are another valuable error. These coins are struck when the blank planchet is not perfectly centered between the dies. If the design is shifted and a visible portion of the blank surface remains, collectors love these types of errors. The more dramatic the off-center shift, the higher the value. Sometimes these can reach hundreds of dollars. Broad strikes occur when the collar that holds the coin in place during striking malfunctions, causing the coin to spread out and become wider than normal. These types of errors also carry value depending on severity. Another spectacular error is when a coin is struck on the wrong planchet, for example if a penny was struck on a dime planchet or a foreign coin planchet. These types of errors can be rare and valuable, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars, especially for modern dates. Now let's talk about how to check your own 1994 D penny to see if it might be valuable. First, look at the overall sharpness. Are the details crisp? Are Lincoln's hair strands sharp? Are the memorial columns clearly separated? Does the coin still shine or have its original luster? The more original shine it has, the better. Next, inspect the surfaces under bright light or a magnifying tool. Look for scratches, discoloration, spots, or dents. A single scratch can drastically reduce the grade. Also make sure the coin has no corrosion. Zinc coins can develop tiny bubbles under the copper surface, known as plating blisters. These reduce the grade and collector value significantly. If your coin appears perfect or nearly flawless, you might want to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies authenticate coins, assign grades, and place them in protective holders. A high grade can turn a penny worth 1 cent into a coin worth thousands of dollars instantly. Now, why do collectors pay so much for modern Lincoln cents? The answer is that modern coins in high grade have become their own specialty area. Collectors are realizing that many modern coins in perfect condition are surprisingly rare. The US Mint produced billions of coins, but almost all were spent, handled, or damaged. That makes untouched survivors extremely scarce. Collectors also want to complete registry sets, which are competitive listings where collectors attempt to build the highest graded sets of coins possible. This competition drives up prices dramatically. If one collector needs a nearly perfect 1994 penny to complete their high-ranking set, they may be willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for that final missing coin. That's exactly what has happened with some of the most expensive modern pennies. Let's now discuss the history and background of why the 1994 penny stands out compared to other years. By the 1990s, the US Mint had switched from bronze coins to copper-plated zinc. This change happened in 1982 due to rising metal costs. Zinc coins, however, react differently to the minting process than bronze coins. They show imperfections more easily, and they degrade faster. This means even freshly minted coins can have small marks or surface flaws. The Denver Mint was known for producing well-struck coins, but achieving a flawless strike on copper-plated zinc planchets remained extremely difficult. That is why high-grade examples from the mid-1990s have become collector treasures. Let's explore more about why this particular coin reached a value of $69,578.